Another aspect of the job in the 21st century I've come to really enjoy is the video element. And when I got into the industry, I mean, a lot of people gravitated to newspapers because the thought of appearing in front of a camera was terrifying, you know, and there's still a lot of people like that, but you can't escape the fact that with the rise of online journalism, multimedia and video particularly has to be a big part of what we do. So for a long time now, for over 10 years now, I've been doing a weekly video for our Real Footy website called Footy Fix, which is a preview of the upcoming round, and we go out on location, we go to training and various venues, and it's basically a 2-camera piece talking about the big games of the round coming up. And it's you know, it's been an amazing thing. I still don't think I'm the slickest person in front of the camera, as this probably demonstrates, but you know, you learn a lot. You know, it's a good one for teaching you journalistic techniques which you probably hadn't thought of previously. And I think people enjoy it. I think people enjoy sort of putting faces to the names. You know, we're never going to be Peter Hitchener sitting behind a desk delivering the news and be that smooth about it. But I think that has a certain charm about it as well. We're a bit rough and ready as print journos. You know, fashion's never been a strong point for us, or grooming. But you know, we can talk about the topics to camera, and you know, I love doing the video stuff. I really look forward to it, and it's just another strand of your job now. So yes, I'm a print journalist, but you know, I'm not just confined to writing stories for a paper. I do blogs, I do videos, I do a lot of that radio work with SEN, and I think, you know, particularly for people looking to get into journalism and the media, that's probably the attitude you have to take. You know, don't really confine yourself to one particular stream, because the chances are that, you know, at some stage there's going to be a fairly healthy crossover.
I'm interviewing for the next intake of cadet journalists at the moment, and apart from being an incredibly uplifting experience, because you see some prodigious talent, all of that energy, I'm transported myself back 30 years, which is always a good thing given how old and saggy and baggy I feel. But the key takeout from those interviews is that multi-skilling is incredibly necessary. I would never get a job now if I had the same skills that I had 30 years ago when I entered. That's a good thing. So to be multi-skilled, to be educationally adept as well, but open-minded as well, you know. That's such a key now, is to be open-minded and not, especially in the social media world that we're seeing at the moment, where a vogue or a trend or a pack mentality of thought can take off very quickly. That may not necessarily accord with what is actually the story. So to have an open mind is and has always been a key thing, and will remain a key contributor for journalists in new newsrooms.
These days, are smartphones becoming one of the key tools of a journalist? You have the ability there to be able to film you know, the results of a car accident, to interview the captain of the local footy team, to take photographs at the scene of a fire, and to get all that information back to the newsroom so it can be delivered to your audience within moments. It brings the immediacy to the journalism. It means that we're so much more in touch with being able to get that information to our readers as quickly as possible.
You'll really excel as a journalist if you're thinking about all the different ways you can tell that, how you can incorporate an interactive graphic for the iPad, how you can incorporate a video, how you can turn that into a series, how you can turn that into some sort of campaign that engages social media. So if you just be creative, use everything, like all the juices in your brain to think about how a story can be told differently than just the traditional way. I think that will just be such an important skill.
I think that it's changing very quickly, the skill set that's required, and I think that you kind of have to be on the ground and on the computer to keep up with it. So whether it's Photoshop or video editing, or it's a changing content management system. It's not skills you can really learn anywhere else than on the ground and being at it every day.
The big thing with digital media at the moment is you can have the most wonderfully written piece in the world, but if no one ever clicks on it to find out because they didn't think the headline was interesting, or they didn't think the thumbnail image was interesting, then you may as well have not written it. So it's important to get a sense of how are stories presented, and how are they presented in different mediums and in different publications, and think about, okay, would I have written this headline this way? Would I have written this introduction this way? How could it have been done differently?
I started as a television reporter. I became a magazine reporter. I was the chief political correspondent for the Bulletin here. I've been a senior writer for The Age. I've written books, and I've also learned all the video production, all the behind the camera stuff. So I guess I'm fairly multi-skilled, but my tip to any young person wanting to be involved in journalism is the more multi-skilled you are, the more employable you're going to be.
If I could tell young journalists entering the industry or thinking about entering the industry now, I would say try and bring something over and above journalism. I'm of the view that if we want to innovate, we need different kinds of people in newsrooms. We need different skills. We need people with math skills, and people with computer science skills, and people with developing skills. I can't teach those skills. I can teach the journalism. So we're probably looking at things in a slightly less traditional way, where in the past we would target people that had the journalism skills and then we'd say, oh, anything else is a bonus. Now, smaller industry, harder to build, big numbers in newsrooms. If you've got more than the bog standard skill set, you're far more valuable to people like me. And I can't teach you those extra skills that we need to innovate and survive, but I can fill in the blanks around journalism. So as an employer, I'm probably looking at people in a different light now.
If I look back when I started, it was simply, here's your computer, which didn't access the internet, and type in the words. See you later. So to me, this is where journalism training comes in, and it's quite interesting because I don't think a lot of journalism courses currently do this kind of thing. So it has actually been very knowledgeable about technology, being able to use it quickly and efficiently. You don't need to have that necessarily when you turn up, but you have to be prepared to pick it up very quickly. You have to have a different mindset about what filing is. Filing isn't going to an event, waiting half an hour, 40 minutes afterwards, an hour, then filing 500 words. It's filing a line at a time. Being able to take pictures and video. If I've been out running before and stopped my phone and taken video of a fire, and if I can sort of do it, anyone can. But really it's that mindset of being able to give anything a go, because you will be expected to turn your hand to pretty much anything.